Good morning, everybody. Appreciate you being here. To wrap up, Saturday, obviously, like I said, after the game, it's extremely disappointing performance. For the things that that go into the preparation, the work, all elements that go into that to go try to be the best you can be whenever the game kicks off. I thought our guys. I thought there was a good week of preparation, in regards to, even having to adapt and adjust to some of the changes with the storm and all things there. There in the first half, I thought, we showed some well in some areas, had a couple mistakes, things that cost us, got down inside the 5-yard line, weren't able to score, had a bust in a coverage, which allowed a explosive touchdown. We didn't play as good as we could, but we're still going into halftime as a 5-point game. Coming out in the second half, obviously kind of a disaster play on the drop ball, tip ball, interception. That gave them a short field, and obviously a quick score, and. I didn't think that we responded as well to adversity, as what we need to, and as what I believe that we're capable of. And we got to a point where even when we scored, it went to a 12-point game. We came out. I felt that as as a momentum boost. I felt like we went out there. We got a 3 and out, and then there's the call on the face mask, which is what it is. I mean, it was. That was a game-changing play for us, though. Got to stop. Obviously, whenever that extended the drive, and really at that point, that was probably the most disappointing aspect of the rest of the game, because I didn't feel that we rose to the level of response that was necessary, and it was it really was a kind of a gut punch in that situation. They went down and were able to score. Obviously we had they had the 2 scoring drives there, and then then we had the pick 6, and it just kind of all built upon itself on that. And it was and that's the things that as I talked to the team yesterday, as you go back and watch the film, it was the lack of response there in the second half when things didn't go the way that we wanted, the way that obviously we needed to go. And that's where you got to have guys that step up and who's going to take control of that, who's going to be the who, because we can talk about leadership and what does that look like. Well, in those moments, the leaders go make the play. They go stand up, give all that they can, and go execute in the moment. And that was what was lacking. And we've seen that in the past. We've seen that even the week prior, to finish the game. We saw that in tough and challenging situations where guys answered the call. They were put in the moment and went and made the play. And we didn't have those plays made there in the second half when things didn't go well. And it was a disappointing outcome. And obviously coming back, we have to go get better. And this week. We got a great challenge, with the team, playing probably as good as anybody in the league, one of the better, playing as good as probably anybody in the country right now, and what they've done. And right now we probably played on the complete opposite spectrum of that. So, we've got to have a great focus on us, and we got to have a great focus on our improvement, from the details, the work, the response, all things that are critically important for us to go and get better. But, which I've said multiple times throughout, and I thought our guys came back, and last night, and it was a good work day, and I thought the ownership of action, the things that showed up and occurred, and then the willingness to go jump on a practice field. We got back at 5 a.m. on Sunday morning, and so it was an early morning. Obviously a short rest, but they came out and they pushed, and it was a good start to the week. But it's the application, all things throughout the week, and making sure that we're doing everything in our power to go be our best come Saturday night, and that will be our focus. And obviously we're going to do everything we can to put our guys in a position, and then to be able to go out there and execute in the moment.
All right, first question will be Ira, front row on your right. is DJ health-wise, and how did Brock look when he was out there to you, and what's going to go into the decision-making process this week?
Obviously, yeah, I mean, DJ is something we're going to evaluate throughout the course of the week, and kind of go see where it goes from there. And I thought Brock, going in, and in all reality, I said it after the game. I mean, after the interception, just kind of where the game. I mean, it was decided I was going to make the change. Obviously, DJ did have the the injury there that as well, but just wanted to see that opportunity for Brock to go in and have a chance to execute. I thought he did some good things. Had a nice throw that wasn't that we didn't finish on. I thought he did miss one of the vertical shots that had an opportunity. I thought was a touchdown play. And then but overall operation of what he was asked to do was good. It wasn't shocking to me. Brock and Luke both do a great job in how they prepare. They try to prepare as if they're going to play every play in the game. And if you do that, then when you get in the game, it's usually going to translate a lot better for you. And I thought he was ready for the moment. And obviously those guys both have to go and prepare at an elite level this week. And we'll see how things play out throughout the course of what this week holds.
All right, come to Chris, front row on your left.
You guys played a good bit of depth in that game, and especially some young guys that hadn't gotten burned previously. How did they handle it? How much do you continue to try to push there and get more guys out there and see what they can do?
Yeah, it's going to be a continued push to put the best guys that can go out there and be productive and be able to make plays there in the moment. And there are open doors of opportunity, and there's a lot of evaluation, and it is an absolute push, at every position for guys to raise the level of productivity, and to, for guys that are looking for more, they've got to go earn more. And, anybody can talk about it and sit there and say, well, I want to be playing, or this guy should be in, or that guy should be in, but ultimately they got to show that they're prepared for that, and the way that they work throughout the course of practice. And then if they do a job that shows that builds confidence in their teammates, in their coaches, and everybody that they're ready for that, then when that door opens, you got to go perform. And I thought there were some good things. I thought there were some good plays, and there was also some moments for some of those young guys to see that the areas of improvement, and that sense of urgency for improvement is there, and obviously we'll build upon it.
All right, we'll stay here for Brendan.
How'd you consider, and I made to clarify, when you played Brock, was it because of DJ's hand injury, or was it just time to
No, I was going to. When we had the pick six, that was it was going to be an opportunity for Brock to go in there, and it was I think 13 minutes or something in the fourth quarter, I believe, and I was making the change at that point. And I'll say this: it was there's a lot of things that we go back and look in the game, and DJ did make a lot of good throws that throughout the course of the game, and some good decisions. He made some poor decisions and a couple bad throws that but you got to surround it, and you got to help the quarterback position. And I don't think we've done a good job of that consistently. And at the end of the day, we all have to have ownership in that. And so for what that was, it was. And from protection to finishing plays and catches when you get the opportunities, and then making sure that the quarterbacks are making the right reads, putting the ball where it needs to be, and playing at a high level. So it is all things, but at that point, it was I was definitely you've got to make the change there for that game.
All right, we'll go second row for Jordan.
Coach, in the second half, when your team doesn't respond like that, is that more of the coach's message falling flat, or the players not playing with the right attitude?
No, coach's message doesn't really change here. It's go be the best you can possibly be, and you go and respond to. Don't be driven and affected so much by the circumstance. It's still about the opportunity, and you got to if you're a real one, you're going to rise up. And I say that and I believe we've got a football team full of real guys, and guys that have done it before. But if you get caught up in the circumstance, right, you put yourself in a position, right, to to be swayed by the emotion. And nobody wants to be down. Nobody wants to be put in tough situations. Nobody wants to have anything bad ever happen to them. But when it shows up, I mean, who are you? Right? And the real ones, they rise up and they go make the play. They want that. They are willing to step forward. They're willing to take the brunt of all things and still just put themselves out there. And that is a challenge. Right? And I told the team right there after the game, and I told them again last night, I mean, if that's leadership, because real leaders are not affected by just the swaying of the wind. Because if that, then you're going to be, you'll be up some days, you'll be down some days, hot and cold. But if you got a purpose and you're an absolute, what you think you are or say you are, then go be it, and be it consistently throughout the course of the game. Whether you're up, whether you're down, let that show up. And if you get discouraged or disappointed because the outcome is not where you want it to be, and you hold back, well, there's the hesitation, and sometimes, and there's a lot of things that go into that. It's whether it's the fear of failure, the fear, the disappointment of coming up short. I mean, but that's part of it, right? And ultimately, you got an opportunity. You go out there and you go make the play. You take all the things that you've worked to do, and you put them into action in those moments. And it's our job as coaches to help put those guys in the best situation, to help showcase that, to help them in that response. But I mean, that's where we all have to get better. And as a coach, as players, I mean, in those moments, man, that's where we have to be our best, and we have to be the realist to who we are and what we're all about. And you can point back to reference and look back, and a year ago we won 13 games during the regular season championship, and 4 of them we were down 10 points. Right? And what happened in every one of those opportunities? Well, the real one stood up, and some of those guys that are on this team right now were those guys. But now, as we and I said this, throughout the preseason, and all of it is like watching a team. You always, you build it, you put it together, and the excitement about what the potential can be. And I am the ultimate optimist. I mean, I see what people can do. I see what I believe they can become. I see what I feel and what I have a sense of the potential of a group. Right? But it still comes down to the moment of truth. And I was asked the question maybe in the opening press conference, what's your concern about that? Well, it's in the moment of truth, what's it going to look like? Right? Because you still have to have the guys that step up in that moment and be what they're capable of being. Right? You have to have coaches, players, everybody involved. Like when it doesn't go the way that you necessarily want it, because it shows up in every game, every year. It very rarely you look at a team that wins a championship and see just the smoothest of rides, because that response has to be a part of building the core of it. And I don't think we've handled that very well. And it's not from a lack of want to, but for whatever it is to make that connection, to go execute, then to be able to make the catch, make the block, make the tackle, to make the throw, whatever that part of it is. And now we've seen flashes of it. And I have seen some positive responses. It's just not being consistent enough for us to play to the level that we're capable of, and that's what we have to continue to work and get better at.
All right, we'll stay there for Kurt.
The change on the depth chart with the co-stars at quarterback, is that just because of the uncertainty about DJ's status, or is there a world where a change is made kind of independent of injury, even if DJ was good to go?
Well, I mean, obviously DJ, it's like one of those, like, I really don't care about a depth chart, to be honest with you. Right? Like, it really means nothing. And so to put a status, like DJ didn't finish the game because he couldn't finish the game. Now, I've said that I was going to put Brock in at that moment too, but obviously right now there is a little bit of uncertainty of status. We'll see what that looks like as the week goes on, but it doesn't really matter what I put on depth chart.
All right, we'll go to Liam, second row on the right.
It's gonna be another depth chart question. Sorry. I had to. You've got 3 tight ends. Obviously, the interception, Kyle kind of bobbled it and goes in the SMU player's hand, but Landon gets his first touchdown. Just what did you see out of those guys in that tight end room to lead to that decision?
Yeah, I mean, that's a position where you have to be better. And, you look a year ago. I've got confidence and belief in Kyle. I do. And you look a year ago, when you look percentage of opportunities and targets and catches and guys making the play, he was as good as anybody we had. And we had some really, really good pass receivers last year. This year, there's been some struggles. There's been some tough moments. There's been that was obviously a huge play in the game, and there's nobody more disappointed in it than Kyle. And but right now it still comes down to production, to execution, and so if there's doors of opportunity are there, then guys have to take advantage of that. And obviously I was really happy for Landon to be able to get that first touchdown, and you can go through the game and there's still some things that he's going to have to take some great strides in to continue to be what I know he's capable of. But that position has to go and get better, and and you can see it across the board in this wonderful depth chart that we put out. That there's still there's a lot of positions that have to be better. We're not playing very well, and so I did suggest put an or on everybody, but it's at the end of the day, we got to go do it, and it's the belief that I have in the guys that I get to coach. That's unwavering, because I am around them as much as anybody, and so with that, it's what you do in the moment, and that's where we get to prepare our butts off and go push to be better. And then when we get out there on the field, the better has to show up, and if it doesn't, then there's got to be somebody that takes advantage of the opportunity and goes and helps this football team win games.
All right, we'll go back to Ira on your right.
Prefaces, I'm going to start off with an individual player, but it's about the position group. I was watching Darius before the game, and he seemed to be very animated, like he was trying to get guys fired up. And he was the one that looked like was giving a little speech before they went in the locker room. But then he has a false start, and Maurice had some bad snaps. And that offensive line, like you would think that would be a group that the team could lean on. What do you think's gone wrong for that group?
Yeah, there's been a lot of change in availability, guys that have played, where they played, what they've done. We do have probably the two guys that are with JB being out and kind of he did get to play there in the last game, but with Darius and Maurice, those guys are two guys that have played well here and have played at a high level, and they have to be it. And I've got, once again, just perhaps the last question I just answered. I've got the ultimate confidence in what they can do, but in those moments, they have to, as the leaders. It's got to show up, and I think that's where that's a responsibility. It's a challenge. It's all of it. But they're built for it. They've lived through it. They've been through it, and it's what this team needs. And guys that have been out and been productive in critical, challenging, hard situations, well, we need that now. And that is where I know it's like, well, you put your finger on why that's what's you get frustrated with as a coach of the things that you're looking at through preparation, the things that you've done that even these individuals have been very successful with. Like, well, now it's what are the tweaks? What are the things that where we can eliminate some of those mistakes, because they are amplified mistakes when it comes from them. It's a first year starter. If it's somebody that's new to it, that there's still some things that they're working through. But that's another part of the challenge to them and a challenge to us, because we've got to make that connection. And I would tell you, if I sat there and watched these guys and I felt that they were pulling back, or it wasn't. You mentioned like in pregame, Darius doesn't even like to talk. He doesn't really just enjoy doing that, but he wants it, and he wants it for this team, and he's willing to try to push, to try to encourage. But then, in those moments, you gotta stay focused on those little things. And that's why I'm grateful for him willing to take those steps. And now it's about let's just control things we can control as well, and continue to bring both, because that's what this team needs.
Come back over here to the left for Brendan.
On the interception return for a touchdown, there was a few players who seemed to be hustling, Kentron, LT. Did you see that enough widespread from everyone responding to the miscue there?
Yeah, you want, were there guys that accounted for lows, yes. I mean, it was not uniform of what it was, and obviously those are things that every play would be great, and so but I did you celebrate the guys that are putting on display what the expectation is, and that's where for us you got to continue to push that standard, and we have obviously there's accountability in all things, and how we play in the good and how we play in the challenges all like I said, it's a reflection of the identity.
All right, we'll go second row on the left, back to Kurt.
I see Richie Leonard not on the depth chart this week after he didn't play. I guess what is his status? And then on top of that, the two guards who got in, Bryson and Andre, how did they perform? I know they're listed as co-starters now.
I meant to mention that in the opening, but Richie Leonard will be out the rest of the season. Unfortunately, had an injury that he's been dealing with, and it's kind of got to a point where it's greatly affecting his just ability to be able to go out there and play, and so he'll be out for the rest of the year, unfortunately. And then obviously with the opportunities of Otto and Estes, I mean those guys they're guys obviously Bryson's been in the program for a long time. He had an injury coming out of spring, basically missed majority of fall camp, and so he had to he's had to kind of work himself back into it. I thought he had a really good spring, but our guard play it's not been as good as it needs to be, and that's the reality of it. So I mean those guys are gonna push for opportunity, and we gotta go get better. And I thought Andre, he's still young and still growing in a lot of areas, but I mean you felt his presence. I mean he moves well. He plays with physicality, and that's what those guys. I mean they every chance they get to step on that field, they got to go play confident, play fast, and be able to transition those techniques and fundamentals that they work on in the course of action.
All right, we'll stay there for Jordan.
Coach, 2 weeks in a row, the defense has given up over 400 yards of offense to the opposing team. Is there one thing that you can point to of what you guys need to do better on the defense side of the ball?
Yeah, I mean, we got to help eliminate the explosives. I mean, and when there was, I think it was 5 different plays where, a couple of coverage issues, and and just to be real, two of our better players that shouldn't happen. And when those things show up, we've got to take accountability, ownership. Players, coaches, everybody involved. Making sure that we're clear in that expectation and its application of that. But we got to eliminate the explosive play. Obviously, I thought we're still too loose in areas there in the run game. We got to make sure that we set the edge, and guys are aggressive to setting the edge of a defense, because too many times the ball got outside when we have people that are in position and need to go force to get it back to everybody else, and just a little bit too much hesitancy when it came to that. But I did with the negative. I mean, there was also some guys that I saw that played at a higher level, and some guys that had were more short tackling, that were playing more aggressive, that you were playing with more confidence in what some things we were asking them to do. So we've got to build upon that with all 11 guys that are out in the field.
All right, last one, we'll go to Ira.
Aside from the quarterback situation, how many different things have you guys tried to do offensively? It feels like from week to week there have been tweaks and things you put in. Are you finding anything that you feel like this offense can do, or do you have to keep trying?
Yeah, I mean, I think even in that game the other day, you see the opportunity. I mean, you see the opportunities for the, whether it's for the explosive, for the, the routine, whether it's, but it's the, we have to eliminate the self-inflicted issues. And I mean, whether first, I guess the second, third down, we have the snap. We've got, we've had a couple, missed assignments of things that, ad nauseum, you go over and is executed in practice, and even when it's been a mistake, you go back and you hit again, and then when if it shows back up, further, then that's where you have to look at, where's the disconnect? Is it focus? Is it understanding? Is it whatever that is? But as a somebody has a history of, you know, being on the offensive side of the ball, you look, are we creating space? Are we creating opportunity? You creating numbers, leverage, you know, those things that are important. And then, you know, for guys, like, I mean, we had a couple explosive plays that, you know, got called back for whatever, for a holding penalty, or we get, you know, drop ball or a missed opportunity or something that's, you know, those are the things that we have to be able to finish on. And, you know, it is, you know, it's one thing if I'd never seen them do it, but it's also, you got to carry it over. And, you know, we're going to continue to adapt and adjust. I mean, also until, you know, because our performance on offense has not been good enough. But when you have those opportunities and you have the space, we got to capitalize on that. And, you know, the playmaking ability, which I do think we have, I mean, it's got to show up. And you know, that's one of the things that we're going to continue to push towards. But you know, I do believe that you know, it is there, and I do believe that there are capabilities of what it can be. And we get a great challenge this week against, you know, a great defense to try to go put it into place. And that's what we'll work towards this week. And I'm excited to see our guys respond to it.